Hi! How was everybody's Halloween? I'm so excited to hear how everybody's Halloween went. Okay, I think I'm live now. How did everybody's Halloween go? Here in Alberta, I'm hungry. It was very cold and it wasn't lovely at all. I have two young kids, and my youngest, who's 4, took a very long time going to every house because she was so cold. While the older one just ran, so he was okay. Um, but I hope you had a fantastic Halloween. I hope that all of those tips that I gave throughout the week were very helpful. I know that there was about 8 tips that I gave last week, and I hope that it was very helpful and that it helped you not eat all the Halloween candy. Although, with Best Life Imaginable, we do want to let you know that we don't want you to not eat the things you want. Because when you do that, you are depriving yourself. And when you deprive yourself, then you're not, that's how overeating happens, that's how binging happens, all of those things. So today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. And then at the very end today, I'm going to tell you the number one way to start breaking habits today. Okay, so I wanted to say a little bit about myself because I don't know that everyone's kind of got to know me as well as I would like. So, as I said, I do have two children. I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. I'm married, which is great, to a fantastic man. Um, I live in Alberta, near Calgary, as I said, in a small town, but I grew up in Calgary and it's pretty cold, but it's a great place. Um, yeah, I decided to do hypnotherapy when one of my friends needed help. She was in the class to do it, and I was very skeptical. I wasn't really sure about what it would be like because the only time I'd ever seen a hypnotist was on the stage at the Calgary Stampede. Now, people from Calgary will understand this, but people who aren't from here might not understand. It's just like a big fair that we have here. And on the stage, they would get people to do such crazy things. And I was really concerned when my friend asked me to be a subject or a student for her hypnotherapy because I was worried that she would be able to make me like quack like a duck or do all of these crazy things that I'd seen as a stage hypnotist. Now, that definitely wasn't the case because we weren't trying to be silly. We were trying to figure out a problem. And the problem that I had at the time was guilt. I had a lot of guilt that I was really suffering with. And it was very helpful and it's life changing, um, this hypnotherapy. So that's really exciting and cool. So that's kind of how I got into it. I'm also a coach, which is really fun. I'm a health and life coach, but I like to specialize in happiness because happiness is so important. When you feel really negative, and you just feel like you're not your best self, it's so hard. Or when you're constantly finding that you're speaking negatively and you're not speaking in a positive tone, it can be very, very difficult. So I definitely like to specialize in happiness because I've been very, very miserable in my life, and I know what the difference is to be very, very happy. So, the things that I like to work on the most is quitting smoking because that is so important. I've had a lot of stories with that one. I've had a lot of family members that have been smoking. Those stories will be coming out probably next week on my posts about all of my stories about around smoking. Also, sugar cravings and eating too much. I definitely understand this one because I've suffered with my weight up and down for so many years and done all of the diets, and it's been just really kind of tough. And again, negativity, negative thoughts. If somebody said something to you that's super negative, all of that. So, a little bit more about me. I really like to do spin class. And I said this the other day, but I don't know if you heard it. um, I went to a spin class recently with a bunch of my friends, and I was dreading it. I did not want to go. I was thinking of every excuse why I couldn't go. But my daughter is actually at the preschool right there. So I had to be there to drop her off. And so I didn't really have an excuse as why I couldn't do the spin class. But I was really nervous about it because I hadn't biked in years. And I was worried that I might feel stupid, I might look stupid, or I might not appear as confident as I wanted to. So one of our friends is a really she's been spinning for years and is amazing at it. And the other two luckily didn't have a lot of experience just like myself. So I felt a lot better about the situation. But I would look over and they seem to be doing so amazing. They seem to be doing this like it was no problem at all. And I felt like I wasn't doing as good. And so we're always so hard on ourselves. Like nobody was thinking that I wasn't doing great, or nobody even gave it a second thought because everybody is so focused on themselves and what they're doing and what they think that other people might be thinking about them. So nobody was even worried about my spin abilities whatsoever. And it turned out that I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I ended up buying a Peloton bike, which is where you can watch spin classes from your house. So it's really been a great experience doing this. But the reason I'm telling this story is because if I hadn't pushed myself to go to the class, then I never would have known that I liked it. I think that movement is a very big part of feeling good. And again, any movement that you like is going to be the best. Because if you do movement you don't like, you're not going to do it. um, I always was putting off running. I just hated it. But you just have to find something that you really, really enjoy. So I like spin classes. I really like essential oils. I find it really relaxing. We have a sauna, which is lovely, best investment ever. And I ended up putting it in my mechanical room because we didn't have a lot of space. And so I'm able to go down there and have kind of a break and a relax, which is so important. We need to take care of ourselves because nobody else is really going to be taking care of you or making sure that you're okay. So you need to make sure that you are your own best friend. You're taking care of yourself and you're giving yourself the time that you need for self care and all of that. You need to be your own best friend. Okay, so the number one tip that I have for you today on how to break habits. So, the first thing you need to do is figure out your why. Why do you want to do this? So, we're going to use weight. So, a lot of people might be like, I want to lose weight. And you'd be like, why? And they'd be like, well, I want to look hot. And that's kind of a superficial kind of reason, right? But when you keep going, then you figure out, well, why do you want to look hot? Well, I want to look hot for a wedding that's coming up or something like that. But if you keep going with the why and say, well, why do you want to look good for the wedding? And keep going and keep going, then you'll figure out the actual reason. And usually it's something really deep. Like, for example, maybe you want to look good for the wedding, but in reality, you wanted to feel better about yourself, or you wanted your partner to be more attracted to you. That might be your underlying why. So, by writing out what you want and then kind of questioning yourself again and again and again until you get that real reason why you want to lose the weight or why you want to quit smoking or whatever it is. That's um, the best first step to breaking any habit is figuring out why you want to break the habit in the first place. And it is so powerful because you might start out with saying, I want to look really hot, but it might come down to something so much different than that. And that's not the real reason. The real reason is you wanted that connection with your partner, or you wanted to be better for your health, or there's some reason that you really, really want it. And once you know why you really, really want it, then you're going to be more focused on doing what you need to do to get that taken care of. There will be lots of great ways to break habits throughout the week on in this group. So that's great. And every week we'll have kind of a different topic. I think next week is smoking. So that's exciting. And then the next week after that is something completely different. So just make sure that you stay tuned to all of the posts. I am so excited to be here and I can't wait to talk to you again. We're going to try to do our lives on Mondays and on Wednesdays. Um, Hopefully around 9 o'clock Mountain Time. Um, Probably about 9:30 Mountain Time. We'll be doing our lives every Monday and Wednesday. So make sure to stay tuned to that. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.